Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you very much for your kind association. Let's get started. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamini Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamini Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurattvise Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Mukta Sangha Prabhu, please recite the verses today.
Thank you, Prabhu. Buddhamabhava pishuna malavalguhasa Pridavaloka madano piyasam Samhishya chapam majahat pramudattamasta Yasyendriyam vimahitukum kuhakairna seku.
Okay, very good. Naveen Radhika Mataji. Naveen Radha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Dandavat Pranam.
Prabhuji, I didn't practice the reciting, but I can try though.
Yeah, try.
Bhava
Bhavadvidha Bhagavatas.
Tirtha
You
Bhuta
repeat after me. Bhavadvidha Bhagavatas.
Bhagavad-vidha Bhagavatas
Tirtha Bhuta Swayam Vibho.
Tirtha Bhuta Swayambhuvu
Vibho.
Vibho
Tirthi Kurvanti Tirthani.
Tirthi Kurvanti Tirthani
Swantah Sthena Gadabhrita.
Swanthasthena Gadavridha.
Very good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, no problem. Sharanagat Mataji, next.
Tulayam lavenapi na sarga na punarvitam Bhagvat sangi sangasya martyanam kimuta shisha.
Okay, good. Aradhya Madhavi Mataji.
लब्धा सप्तक्षिप्ता हतापि न स्यात् तत्प्रतिकुर्वन्ति तद्भक्तः प्रभोभिः.
Very good. Ajay Govindra.
पुनश्च भूयात् भगवती अनन्ते रति प्रसङ्गश्च तत् आश्रयेषु महत्सु याम्याम् उपयामि सृष्टिं मैत्रस्तस्तु सर्वत्र नमो द्विजेभ्यः.
Okay, very nice. Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, so let us begin our study of Granthara Srīmad Bhāgavatam. Canto 1, chapter 15, the Pandavas retire timely, text number 28 onwards. So we have seen so far how Arjuna comes back from Dwarka and narrates the passing away of Lord Krishna and all the Dwarkavasis to Yudhishthira Maharaj. Yudhishthira Maharaj is heartbroken. Arjuna is heartbroken. And Arjuna is going to take shelter of Bhagavad Gita. So when Arjuna is so heartbroken, he remembers the instructions of Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita that he had received. And hearing Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna's heart becomes pacified. Now let's continue. Text number 28. Now after Arjuna narrates whatever has happened in Dwarka to Yudhishthira Maharaj, Suta Goswami continues the narration to Shaunakadi Rishi. Suta Goswami says, verse 28, Suta Uvacha, Evam Chintayato Jishno Krishnapada Saroruham Sauhardena Tigadena Shantasid Vimalamatihi. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Shri Srīmad Abhay Charana Aravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. Shri Suta Goswami said, thus being deeply absorbed in thinking of the instructions of Lord Krishna, which were imparted in the great intimacy of friendship, and in thinking of his lotus feet, Krishna Pada Saroruham. Look at the second line. Evam Chintayato Jishno. Who is Jishno? Arjuna. One of the name of Arjuna is Jishno. So he's thinking of who? Krishna Pada Saroruham. Saroruham means like lotuses. Krishna's feet are like lotuses. So remembering Krishna's lotus feet, Arjuna remembered the instructions given to him by Lord Krishna in the form of Bhagavad Gita. And they were given Ādi Gadādhara, in great intimacy. Remember in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, oh Arjuna, I'm telling you because you are non-envious of me, because you are my friend, because you are my devotee. Bhaktosi me sakha cheti. So with great intimacy, I am telling you because this is for your good. Te hitam. In the 18th chapter, Krishna says, I'm telling you the supreme instruction because it is for your good. So it was spoken in great intimacy. And he became Shanta Asit. He became very peaceful after remembering Bhagavad Gita. And Vimalamati, his mind became Vimal, without any mal, without any contamination. His mind became pure simply by remembering Lord Krishna's instructions in Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita is very, very important for all of us, dear friends. We should carry the instructions of Bhagavad Gita in our heart. We should read Bhagavad Gita. We should hear Bhagavad Gita pravachans. Very important. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada says that because Krishna is the Supreme Lord and he's completely spiritual, deep meditation upon Krishna is as good as Samadhi, yogic trance. Lord Krishna is non-different from his name, form, quality, pastimes, entourage, and specific actions, his leelas. So there is no difference between Krishna, Krishna's name, Krishna's swarup, Krishna's activities, Krishna's paraphernalia, Krishna's abode, Krishna's qualities. So Krishna is completely spiritual and everything about Krishna is spiritual. The Lord is like the sun, and the sun's appearance means immediate dissipation of darkness or ignorance. Please listen carefully. Prabhupada is saying that Krishna is like sun. And what is the verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita to substantiate that? Quickly, raise your hand. Okay, Shamchandra Prabhu, go ahead.
कृष्णा सूर्य समान माया है अंधकार, जहाँ कृष्णा रे तारे नहीं माया रा अधिकार.
Very good. So Krishna is like sun. Prabhupada is saying Krishna is like sun. Wherever there is sun, there cannot be darkness. It is not possible. Wherever there is sun, there cannot be darkness. So darkness means ignorance. Correct? Darkness means, I am in the dark, means I don't know what to do. Darkness means ignorance. Where there is Krishna, Krishna is like sun, there cannot be ignorance. What is our main problem in this world? Avidya. We don't know what is what. Avidya. So suppose somebody wants to enter the house, but they have lost the key. Someone wants to enter the car, but they have lost the car key. They don't know where it is. It is there. They don't know, they forgot where they kept it. Is it in the purse? Did I drop it in the car? Did I drop it in the shopping mall where I had gone? So not knowing is the cause of suffering, correct? Now we cannot get inside the car. We cannot get inside the house because we forgot. Forgetfulness means avidya, to not know. So not knowing is a problem in the world. But Krishna is the source of all knowledge. Krishna is Vasudeva Param Jnanam. In Srīmad Bhāgavatam it is said, Vasudeva Param Jnanam. Krishna is the supreme knowledge. In Bhagavad Gita also there is a verse where Lord Krishna says, Yomam Veti Asamudho Janati Purushottamam Sa Sarvavid Bharatimam Sarva Bhavena Bharata. Very important verse. Somebody can share this verse in the group, worth memorizing. Yomam Veti Asamudho. Asamudho means without any doubt. One who knows me, Janati Purushottamam. One who knows me as the supreme personality of Godhead, Purushottam, Sa Sarvavid. He knows everything. What is the meaning? One who knows Krishna knows everything. One who does not know Krishna may be a PhD, maybe a MD, MBA, but knows nothing. Because all the other knowledge that is there in the biggest universities, grandest universities and colleges of this world, it is Jada Vidya. It is Vidya, it is knowledge of this material world, which is Kshanabhangur. This material world is there today, tomorrow it is not there. So what is the use of having expert knowledge about this world? Is it going to help us at the time of death? Is it going to help us in the next world? In the next life we take birth, can we say, I am an MD doctor, I have already finished medical school or residency, now come on, give me a job directly as a medical doctor? No, no, no. You go to preschool, you go to kindergarten, you go to elementary school. Again, we have to do it. That is the nature of this material world. Nothing is steady, nothing is stable, nothing is permanent here. Everything is lost. We invest money in something, stocks or whatever electronic currency, what is it called? That electronic currency. You lose, can you fight? Can you fight? Mera hard-earned money tha. It's my hard-earned money, give it back. Nobody's going to care. It's gone, it's gone. That is the nature of this material assets. Material assets can be taken away from us at any time. Can spiritual assets be taken away from us? Yes or no? No? Or yes? No. I can see devotees, so you can nod. I'm looking at you. Okay, what is the proof? Which is the verse from Bhagavad Gita that says that assets cannot be destroyed? Spiritual assets cannot be destroyed. What is the proof? Bhagavad Gita. Yes, Kirtana Sundari Mataji. What is the proof that spiritual assets are not destroyed?
स्वल्पापि धर्मस्य त्रयतो महतो भयः.
हाँ, नेहा विक्रम नाश होते हैं.
नेहा विक्रम
नाश नहीं होता है. Exactly. Very nice. That is the verse. So, spiritual assets are not destroyed. Material assets are destroyed. That is the point we are trying to make. And wherever Krishna comes, there is no ignorance. When we think of Krishna, by our meditation, by our thought process, through our mind, when we bring Krishna inside our mind, when we think of Krishna, Krishna says, Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmar. We should always think of Krishna. Man mana bhavamad bhakto. With bhakti, if we remember Krishna, then it is like the sun coming in the darkness. Immediately the darkness is gone. So therefore, we should always think of Krishna. Then we will not be in ignorance. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has therefore recommended constant chanting of the name of the Lord. See, Srila Prabhupada has taught us that the best way to remember Krishna is through the names. Can you give me some Shastric Praman for this? Prabhupada says, best way to remember Krishna, Smartava Satam Vishnu. You have to always remember Krishna. That is Siddhanta. And the best way to remember Krishna is to chant his names. Through the names, we can remember Krishna. Prabhupada writes it many, many times. I have read in the purports, different places. Is there any Shastric Praman from Chaitanya Charitamrita? Ante Leela? Chapter 20th? Shikshashtakam prayers? Okay. Pariva Mataji. What is the proof that with name we can remember Krishna?
नाम नामकारी बहुधा निज सर्वशक्ति तत्रार्पिता नियमिता स्मरणेन काल.
Yes, Smaran happens through Nam.
Yes.
Very, very good. That is the point. Smaran can be many times. We can do Leela Chintan and do Smaran of Krishna. We can do Roop Chintan and do Smaran of Krishna. But how long can the mind do it? Because the mind is very fickle. It keeps running. Right now, the mind may be meditating on Radha Rasbihari. Oh, there was like this. Today, darshan was like that. But how long can we sustain that? We forget. But if we simply remember to chant the name, we are not directly remembering Krishna's roop, Krishna's qualities, Krishna's pastimes. They will come. They will come. Swayam eva spurat adha. Atha Sri Krishna namadi na bhavet grahayam indriyai. Sevon mukhe jivha adi. Jivha dau. Swayam eva spurat adha. Everything will manifest. Naam, Leela, Gun, everything. If we serve Krishna, we become Krishna Unmukh and we serve with our body, beginning with the tongue. Sevan mukhe hi jivadu. If we do, then it will happen. But the important thing is that Leela Smaran, Guna Smaran, Roop Smaran of Krishna is difficult for the contaminated mind. Isn't it? Difficult for us to. Okay, just keep thinking of Krishna's form. No, we need a photograph. We need a painting of Krishna to remember. Or we need a darshan. Otherwise, we cannot. Leela Smaran, or we need a lecture where Leela is being discovered. We need a book where we can read. Otherwise, Leela Chintan is also difficult. Guna Chintan, yeah, we need Krishna book to see what the qualities of Krishna, Chaitanya Charitamrita. Otherwise, we cannot do. But Naam is very, very merciful. Naam, even though mechanically we are chanting, that is not the highest. But even if mechanically we are chanting, still, because Naam is not different from Krishna, Abhinatva Nama Namino, if we are remembering to chant the name of Krishna, we are remembering Krishna. Because there is no difference between Krishna Naam and Krishna. Abhinatva Nama Namino. Are you understanding? How simply mechanically chanting the name. This I have read many, many times in Srila Prabhupada's purports. Best way to do Smaranam is to chant Hare Krishna. Therefore, all the Navavida Bhakti happens just by chanting Krishna. Just by taking name Krishna, all Navavida Bhakti takes place. What is the proof? Just by chanting Krishna Naam, Navavida Bhakti gets completed. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedanam. Just by saying Krishna. Bolo, Krishna. Just by saying Krishna, you have performed Navavida Bhakti. What is the proof? Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Eka Krishna Nama Kare Sarva Papa Kshay Navavidha Bhakti Purna Nama Haite Hai. Somebody can share this verse, please. Eka Krishna Nama Kare Sarva Papa Kshay. One Krishna Nama will destroy all your sins. Navavida Bhakti Purna Nama Haite Hai. Just by taking Naam of Krishna, Hare Krishna, Navavida Bhakti Purna. Navavida Bhakti Purna Nama Haite Hai. Thank you, Madhumati Priya Sakhi Mataji. Dekho, Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 15.107. Are you all excited now? Hari Bol! Dekho. One can complete the 9 processes of devotional service simply by chanting the holy name, Krishna. Eka Krishna Naam. Sarva Papakshay. Navavida Bhakti Purna Nama Haite Hai. So what is the Navavida Bhakti? One of the 9 limbs is Smaranam. We are talking about Smaranam. Yahan pe likha hai na? Evam Chintayato. Bhagwan ka chintan karna hai. We have to remember Krishna. So we are saying by chanting Hare Krishna, we are doing Smaranam also. It is so beautiful process. So because Navavidha Bhakti is there in Krishna Nam. Simply, I have read in Prabhupada's purport, simply by remembering to chant Hare Krishna, we are remembering Krishna. Because is Krishna Nam different from Krishna? No. And Naam ratne ke liye, just uttering the name of Krishna, do we have to remember? Yes. Without remembering, how we can chant Krishna? If I have to chant Coca-Cola, 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 I am from Atlanta, that's why. Not that I drink, but so I have to remember, na? I have to remember some company who is creating some beverage. Any name you have to remember. Ajay Govind Prabhu, Ajay Govind Prabhu, Ajay Mukta Sangha Prabhu, Mukta Sangha Prabhu, Mukta Sangha Prabhu. I have to remember them. Similarly, even if you are mechanically chanting Krishna, 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 just to remember to chant the name Krishna, we are remembering Krishna because they are non-different. So Smaranam bhi ho raha hai, Shravanam bhi ho raha hai, Kirtanam bhi ho raha hai, Bhagwan ka Vandanam bhi ho raha hai. Everything is there in just Krishna Nam. This is the proof. Before that, one verse was shared also. Yo mam evam asamudo janati purushottam sa sarvavid. One who knows Krishna knows everything. Sa sarvavid. Vid means to know. And such a person, bhajati mam sarva bhavena bharata. Oh Arjun, such a person will really worship me with all his heart. Prabhupada says, therefore engage him in full devotional service. He will engage. So like that. So here Arjun is remembering Krishna Pada Saroruham, his lotus feet, and how he had given the instructions of Bhagavad Gita. And as soon as he thought of those instructions, all the mal was gone away. He became Vimala Mati. He became pure, no mal. So Prabhupada is saying, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has therefore recommended constant chanting of the name of the Lord for protection from all contamination of the material world. Material world means we are in a dirty place. So we have to constantly keep ourselves clean. Constantly. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Constantly you have to chant Kirtanya Sadahari. The feeling of separation. Now see, this question I put in the Kahoot, but actually I had not covered this purport last time. So my apologies to all of you. The feeling of, please read this with me, very, very important. The feeling of separation from Lord Krishna is undoubtedly painful to the devotee, but because it is in connection with Lord Krishna, it has a specific divine effect, transcendental effect, which pacifies the heart. Shanta Siddha. This word used in this verses, verse 20, it is Shanta Siddha. Ek shanti milti hai. Ek sheetalta milti hai. Hriday ko. Heart becomes pacified. Feelings of separation are also sources of transcendental bliss. Please read this. Feelings of separation, Vipralambha, are also sources of transcendental bliss. Feeling of separation is transcendental bliss, and they are never comparable to contaminated material feelings of separation. What we see in Bollywood, Hollywood, novels, movies, separation, somebody becoming Devadas, that is all bogus nonsense. That has nothing to do with spirituality. And that has nothing to do with what we read in the scriptures, where devotees are feeling separation from Krishna. Prabhupada says, never comparable to contaminated material feelings of separation. Text 29. Vasudevangri anudhyana paribhrimhita ramhasa bhaktya nirmathita shesha kashaya dhishano Arjuna. Arjun's constant remembrance of the lotus feet of Lord Shri Krishna, Krishna Pada Saroruham, rapidly increased his devotion. Paribhrimhita ramhasa bhaktya. It increased his devotion. And as a result, all the trash in his thoughts subsided. All the trash, all the dirtiness, all the mala, it went away. How? Vasudeva Angri, Anudhyana. Anudhyan means constant remembrance of Vasudeva Angri. Vasudeva Angri means Krishna Pada Saroruham. Same thing. Angri means feet. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada Ji Maharaj writes, material desires in the mind are the trash of material contamination. Now, please raise your hand and share with me quickly, taking not more than 5 seconds each, some material thoughts that infect all of us. What are some examples of material desires? Prabhupada Ji says, material desires in the mind are the trash, kachra, kuda kachra of material contamination. Material desires are the garbage that we are carrying. So what are some of the common material desires? Let's do some meditation on that so we can work on ourselves. So Shanta Radhika Mataji, go ahead, please.
प्रभु जी सर, आज के टाइम में तो सबसे पहले वी आर टू मच अटैच टू मोबाइल की, इसमें क्या व्हाट्सएप आया है, फेसबुक में क्या है, एंड इट डिस्ट्रॉय ऑल आवर कॉन्शियसनेस.
True, but that could be a distraction. Material desire बताइए. You're right, the cell phone is a distraction. But what are some material desires in the mind which are contaminations? You're right in one way. Okay, Kirta Sundari Mataji, go ahead.
Desire of name, fame.
Name, fame. Okay. Sharanagat Mataji.
Yeah, I was going to say name, fame, but dhanam hai. We want to see our
Wealth,
kids' wealth, and kids becoming, kids getting everything or opulence. So apna naam. Then again, it is name, fame only. But yeah, that
they
is
are basically all expansions. Isse dekho, if you analyze na, all are expansions of Dhanam Janam Sundari.
Yeah.
If you analyze, somebody wants to become a millionaire, Dhanam. Somebody wants to become very successful, famous, well-known. He wants fame, Pratishtha. Someone wants to have more followers. People should like me. I should be in demand, high demand. So that is, I want followers, people following behind me. Or so I want to be known as the most learned scholar. Yeah, मेरे field में, in my field, जो भी है, finance है, law है, medicine है, engineering है, how to do business. I want to come on, what is that? वो 5-minute talk होता है वो red carpet पे खड़े रह के बोलते हैं.
TED Talk.
TED Talk. I want to appear on TED Talk. I want to show people that I am such an expert in my field. So that is called Kavitavya, to show that we are very learned. So na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim kavitam vajakadishakam. Anybody else? You have something else you can unmute and say? Any other?
Satisfaction of ego.
Ahankar. That is also yes. Ahankar, our ego feels very good when we are appreciated, when we are glorified, when we are given importance. Very nice. Anything else? Any other material desires that we can work on, all of us? So anyway, you can all relax. So this is what Prabhupada is saying. Material desires in the mind are the real garbage that we are all carrying. So we have to all do some introspection and work on it. Further down, Srila Prabhupada Ji Maharaj writes, birth after birth, the conditioned soul is entrapped with so many pleasing and displeasing elements. Birth after birth. We have good experience, we have bad experience. We have fun, we get bored. We enjoy, we suffer. We are happy, we are sad. They accumulate due to our reactions to material desires. All these samskars, all these experiences accumulate in our subtle body because of our material desires. One question, quickly raise your hand if you can answer this. Last time we discussed what is the cause of these dualities, why Krishna has created these dualities. Who can answer? All these dualities that we discussed, why it is created in this material world. Yes, Sharanagat Mataji.
Because we all want to lord it over.
Very good, excellent. Prabhupadaji's exact words. Because we have all of us want to be the best. So true. Once my Guru Maharaj was asked, Maharaj, why it is so difficult to get along with one's spouse? One Udas Grahastha asked, in a Bhagavatam class के end में. Why it is so difficult? We are God brothers and God sisters. We are in the same Prabhupada movement. We chant the same mantra. We go to the same temple. We have the same counselor. We have the same guru. We have the same philosophy. We both agree Mahaprabhu is most merciful avatar. We both agree Radha Krishna are the supreme worshipable object. We both agree Prabhupada is our savior. So much agreement is there. Why it is so difficult to get along? क्यों झगड़े होते हैं हमारे? Maharaj said, because yes, you are living under one roof, but you are two egos, two false egos living under one roof. इसीलिए झगड़े होते हैं. That's why you're fighting. Because yes, exactly like Prabhuji said, it's our false ego. False ego. Most dangerous is false ego to relationships. When the false ego is hurt, the relationships break. So we have to be very careful. We have to work on ourselves. These material desires are the problems, and we keep accumulating these samskaras. So because we want to lord it over, everybody wants to be the enjoyer, everybody wants to be the best. Therefore, Krishna has created these dualities where there will always be struggle for existence. Remember last time we were reading, there is struggle for existence, survival of the fittest. As soon as Arjuna turned his attention towards the instructions of Lord Krishna, Bhagavad Gita, which is association of Lord, became manifest, and thus he felt free from all material contaminations. So isliye we should have Bhagavad Gita in our heart, and we should have some verse of Bhagavad Gita memorized that we can do chintan on when we are in a particular situation. When we are getting angry, there should be some verse about anger. Kama esha, krodha esha, rajo guna samudbhava. We are feeling greedy. थोड़ा सा चीटिंग कर लेते हैं, बहुत अच्छा बोनस मिल जाएगा. Nobody will know also, company will not come to know. बहुत प्रॉफिट हो जाएगा. त्रिविधम नरकेशेदम द्वारम नाशनम आत्मना काम क्रोध तथा लोभ तस्माद् तत्रयम् त्यजेत. Then we are feeling like really looking at some list shopping mein. Let me just do window shopping. I'll not buy Baba. I'm just going to walk with my friend. Just thoda time pass with my friends. Mall mein just I'll window shopping. What verse can we remember? Dhyayato vishaya pumsa sangasteshu pajayate sanga sanjayate kama kamat krodho vijayate krodhat bhavati sammohan spriti brahmashat buddhinasho buddhinashat pranashyati. So we can think just by looking, we'll develop a desire. I want to have. I'll buy. So we should not do even meditate on those things. So therefore, for different situations in life, we must have some verses. We are sitting to chant, we should remember Yagyanam Japa Yagyosmi, Krishna says. Satam Kirtantamam, Krishna says. So like that, for different situations of life, we should have certain verses of Bhagavad Gita in our heart. I don't remember where, but in one Prabhupada memory, I heard a Prabhupada disciple say something very wonderful. Srila Prabhupada said that if Mad Chitta Madgata Prana, Bodhanda Parasparam, devotees come and they discuss with each other, Prabhupada said, if you quote a verse from the Shastra 10 times to devotees and explain it to them 10 times, Prabhupada said that verse will become yours. Then you'll be able to remember. You can keep it in your pocket of your heart and you'll remember it when the situation comes. So therefore, when we are with friends, we should share nice verses. One Prabhupada disciple shared in the memories. Prabhupada said, if you share a verse with a devotee 10 times and explain, you interact and you discuss that verse 10 times, that verse will become yours, Prabhupada said. So we want to make these verses from the Shastra ours. So we should think about them like that. Okay. So then everything, contamination went away. Text 30. See how it begins. Geetam Bhagavata Jnanam. Bhagavad Gita. Geetam Bhagavata Jnanam Yattat Sangrama Murdhani Kala Karma Tamo Ruddham Punar Adhya Gamat Prabhu. Because of Lord Krishna's pastimes and activities and because of his absence, Krishna disappeared. It appeared that Arjuna forgot the instructions left by the personality of Godhead Krishna. Geetam Bhagavata Jnanam. It appeared as if he had forgotten that. Kala Karma Tamaha Ruddham. It appeared as if Krishna, because of the effect of time and Krishna's activity of disappearing, Arjuna had forgotten Bhagavad Gita message. Punaradhya Gamat Prabhu. But no, factually it was not the case. Arjuna had not forgotten. He simply did intense meditation on those instructions, and immediately all his ignorance was gone, and he again became Prabhu. He again became the master of his senses. He became a Goswami. Hari Bol. Or Arjuna became a Goswami immediately, as soon as he remembered. Punaha adhyagamat. They came back to him, those instructions. So this is what happens to devotees. Even our, can you give an example from Bhagavatam that this happened? Appeared that this devotee had forgotten all this, and suddenly it came back when the time was, when he was in the greatest need. The prayers he had offered in his previous life. Yes, Sarojanandini Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, is it Ajamila?
Ajamila?
Yeah.
Okay, yes, Ajamila was a very pious person in the beginning, but he remembered in the end. But it was more like not previous life, but he heard the instructions from the Vishnu Dutas, and that's how he came to the right path. But good. Satyarup Mataji and Janani Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare
Is it Gajendra Prabhuji?
Gajendra. He
Yes,
had
very-
offered those prayers previous life, and he was Maharaj Indradunya. Very nice. So good. Both the answers are nice. So yeah, the instructions came back. So similarly, this is the meaning of Kaunteya Pratijanihi Name Bhakta Pranashyati. A devotee will remember Krishna at the time of death, if the devotee is sincere. It will never go in vain. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says, this revival of consciousness is assured by Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. Isn't it nice? Prabhupada is saying, this revival of consciousness is assured by Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, 18.65 as for Man Mana Bhava Mad Bhakto. So where is the assurance in this verse? Raise your hand. Where is the assurance in this verse? Ha, Mataji, Krita Sundari Mataji.
Mame Vishyasi Satyam.
Yes. Yes. Krishna is saying, if you do these four things, you will come to me. I promise you this because you are a very dear friend of mine. Pratijane priyosi me. You are priya to me. Anybody who does these four things is priya to Krishna. Not just Arjuna. Not just Arjuna. If only Arjuna was priya, we were not priya, then why would Krishna say, Sambhavami yuge yuge? He comes for all of us. Krishna is, he would not have said, Pitaha Masya Jagata, Mata Adhata Pitamaha. Hai na? Krishna cares for all of us. Therefore, Man Mana Bhava Mad Bhakto Mad Yaji Mam Namaskuru is for all of us. And anybody who practices this will become dear to Krishna. Arjuna had no desire to fight with his relatives, but he fought for the mission of Lord Krishna. He was always engaged in the execution of his mission only. Arjuna had decided not to fight. But because Krishna said, he fought. One should therefore adjust. This is very, very beautiful. Look at the last part of this purport, last two sentences. We will be shaken. Srila Prabhupada Ji Maharaj writes, one should therefore adjust the activities of life in pace with the mission of Lord Krishna. And by doing this, one is sure to return back home, back to Godhead. This is the highest perfection of life. Prabhupada Ji is saying we should adjust our activities of life to accommodate the mission of Krishna. Guru is not different from Krishna, Sakshad Hari. Acharya Mam Vijaniyam. We should know the Acharya as Krishna. If Srila Prabhupada has said 16 rounds minimum, if we have taken that vrat to follow the four regulative principles, vrat to chant minimum 16 rounds, vrat to become a sincere devotee in the mood of Das, Das, Anudas in ISKCON. If our job, if our some other commitments are coming in the way, then we have to adjust our life. It may be difficult, but that is a sign of a sincere devotee. We may have to adjust. Like there is one example, devotee, he was very, very miserable. So he got married in India and then came to America on a H-1B visa. And somehow his wife did not get the visa. So they were living separately. He had a nice job in India also, but somehow he came here because thinking it is better. And then for 2 years, they lived away from each other. And it was very painful situation actually. They had children also. And so 2 children in India with the mother alone, and he's here and sending money. But that is not the only duty of a father. The children have to grow up seeing the father also. So then finally he came to his counselor, and I was there at that time. I was just witness many years ago. And he was saying that I made a very big mistake. 2 years, I have not seen my children. All those milestones, when they grow, they do this, they do that. I missed all this just for money. It's not that मैं भूखा मर रहा था India में. ऐसा नहीं कि I'm qualified. I had a job there also. Company only sent me here. Same company I could have continued in India also. But just for the greed of money, greed for better quality of life, I came here leaving my wife and 2 kids. I think I made a grave mistake. 2 years I wasted. He went back. And now he's very happy. He's under the counselors there. He's connected with a nice temple. And his job is also good. So he was sharing his realization and I was hearing. He said that anything that interferes with and here it's not that his sadhana was going very good. Naturally, because all the time you are on WhatsApp, video calling your family, you're thinking about your wife, your children, how they are managing. And so even the bhajan was not going, he was not getting proper prasad. So, he used to eat something microwave mein garam karke. So, ready-made parathe kharid ke tawe pe garam karke wahi bahar bane hue. That's how he was living like a bachelor here. What is the use? He said, my bhajan is getting affected, my consciousness is getting affected. Better I go and live like a sadgrahastha there with my family and, have peace of mind. So he went back. So this is very important, my dear friends. Just for the sake of material accomplishments, for the sake of money, prestige, we should not compromise on our wholesome Krishna consciousness. Text 31. Because of his possessing spiritual assets, the doubts of duality, dvandva, were completely cut off. Kya hai ye? Because he had spiritual assets, Prabhupada says. What is spiritual assets? Can someone unmute, raise a hand, explain what is the meaning of Arjuna had spiritual assets? What are our spiritual assets? Do we have spiritual assets? How do we earn spiritual assets? आध्यात्मिक सुकृति क्या होती है? Yes, Shamchandra Prabhu.
Prabhu, the association of sadhus, Vaishnavas, Guru, Krishna, so these are our spiritual assets, the scriptures.
And how do you earn more spiritual credits and assets?
Through service to pure devotees and remembering the Lord's pastimes.
Yes. So all the spiritual activities that we do, like chanting, every kirtan we attend, we are earning spiritual assets, is it not? Every class we sit and hear, Srīmad Bhāgavatam class, we are earning spiritual assets. These are called Bhakti Poshak. All these activities, they further nourish our Bhakti. So these are called spiritual assets. Now, because of Arjun's possessing spiritual assets, which means because Arjuna had Adhyatmik Sukriti, his doubts were completely cut off just by remembering. Now, give me one example from Shastra where there was another sadhak only, but he didn't have such Bhakti Sukriti, such like Arjuna. And he also tried to remember at the time of temptations. He tried to remember the Vedic verses, Vedic hymns, the teachings of his Guru, but it didn't work. Yes, Shama Kishari Mataji.
Rajamali, probably.
Very good. Very good. Yes. Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila Shukdev Goswami writes, Ajamil, when he saw that lady, low character lady, he tried to remember the teachings that he had received from his Guru, teachings of his father, the Vedic mantras, and he actually started chanting some mantras that he knew for purification from that temptation. And he tried to control his mind and senses, but he became grahagrasta. He became just completely captivated by that thought of material enjoyment, and he couldn't. Our acharyas have done a commentary. They say first he brought her in the house as a maid servant. that we need a maid servant in the house. So he hired her as a maid servant. And then Srila Radha Govind Maharaj says in the Katha, she just looked at the wife of Ajamil like this and raised her eyebrows. Ye kaun hai? Immediately Ajamil looked at his young, nice, chaste Brahman wife and said, Chalo, out of here. She doesn't approve of you. The maid servant doesn't approve of you. And he removed his wife, and then he removed his parents also. Took all the money from them and then removed the old parents from the house. And just he was living with that prostitute, with that lady, bad lady. So this is the thing. We have to be very careful. If we don't have bhajan bal, if we don't have bhakti shakti, if we don't have spiritual assets, as Srila Prabhupada translates, then it will be difficult. At that moment of temptation, we may fail. So what should we do? Accumulate as much spiritual assets as possible. Chant maximum, do Vaishnava Seva maximum, hear maximum Srīmad Bhāgavatam, do Swadhyaya, do Shravanam, do Kirtanam. Being in the association of devotees, serving devotees. So this is very important. I was talking to one Prabhupada disciple, he's no longer here. And just few days before he passed away, he was sharing something very poignant, very touching with me. He said, Prabhuji, I committed grave Vaishnava aparadha. He actually criticized a very senior disciple of Srila Prabhupada, one of our Gurujans. He openly criticized on Facebook. He said after that Facebook post, slowly, like a cancer, he said, first I became more attracted to news, social media. I became less attracted in my chanting. And I reached such a low point in my devotion that I felt that spiritually I was dead. I was ashamed to call myself a disciple of Srila Prabhupada. He personally told me this. He said, Prabhuji, I was in a very bad shape and I knew it was Vaishnava Aparadha. He said, and I begged forgiveness from the disciples of that guru that I had criticized on Facebook. I begged forgiveness from them and I prayed to Prabhupada to protect me. And he said, somehow I had reached a point where I had no taste. I was lazy spiritually and I was not even chanting my 16 rounds. And for days I had not chanted Gayatri. He said, I was in a very bad situation. He said, then he told me one seva. I don't want to say that seva because it may reveal his identity. But he did one seva for Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Prabhupada. Some seva he did, of some Vigraha seva he did. And he said, I did that and I prayed to Prabhupada, I prayed to my god brother who had offended, that if you are pleased with this service that I am doing, please forgive me. And he was just living off his social security money and he had to spend around $500 to make those repairs. It was a huge amount for him. Practically for a couple of months, he had to go without food. But he did that and didn't take money from anybody. He wanted to do that prayaschitta. He said, I did that, Prabhuji. As he held my shoulders, he said, Prabhu, after that, slowly, I got my spiritual energy back. And I felt that I was forgiven. And, again, I got taste in chanting and everything. So this is very important, my dear friends. We should not do things that will steal us or that will cover our spiritual assets. And we should accumulate maximum spiritual assets so that at the time of greatest danger, what is that? Dharmo rakshati rakshita. Very famous. Dharmo rakshati rakshita. If we protect dharma, what dharma will do? Dharma will protect us. If we worship Krishna, we offer our love to Krishna, then when we are in the most vulnerable position, Krishna will show his love and Krishna will protect us. So like that, very important. Because Arjuna had spiritual assets, the doubts of duality were completely cut off and he was able to remember Bhagavad Gita. Thus, he was freed from the three modes of material nature and placed in transcendence. There was no longer any chance of his becoming entangled in birth and death, for he was freed from material form. Became completely spiritually situated. Prabhupada ji writes, second line of the purport, very important. I'm going to read this as it is. Superb. Please listen carefully. The most foolish part of our ignorance is our identifying this material body with the self. I am this body. I am this body. And please remember, my dear friends, this is extremely deep-rooted, isn't it? How many seconds in a day do we spend in our Siddha Swarup? Till today, have we spent 1 second in our Siddha Swarup? Which means we are in false Maya Swarup. We are in Maya Swarup. We are thinking I am this body. We may not say so, we may hear it many times, but again and again, we are simply acting on the platform of this body. मैंने ऐसा किया, मैंने वैसा किया, मुझे ये चाहिए, मेरा ये मेरा वो है, ये मेरा वो है. Once, dear devotees, I was in a class and somebody said that now at least this bodily identification is gone after hearing Prabhupada so many times, reading Prabhupada's book so many times. So he was completing his sentence. He said, at least this is now bodily conception that this is me, my family, I and mine. That is gone. But Gurudev immediately stopped him. He was elderly gentleman. He said, will बनाया है क्या? बोले हाँ will बनाया है. बोले प्रॉपर्टी किन के नाम पे की? बोले बच्चों के नाम पे. क्यों? तुम्हारे शरीर के बच्चे हैं ना, इसलिए. वसुदैव कुटुंबकम. If you were Vaideha, if you were beyond this material body, why would say my children, I and mine? It is very deep, my dear friends. We are trapped. Chinatsi ghoram yamapasha bandham, bhinatsi bhimam bhavapasha bandham, chinatsi sarvasya samasta bandham, naivatmano bhakta kritam tu bandham. Srila Bilvamangalacharya says that only Krishna is expert at cutting all these knots. Yamapash ka knot, Bhava Bandhan ka knot. So many attachments are there. Because of this material attachments, Yamaraj will catch us. But Krishna can cut all these knots very easily. But which knot Krishna cannot cut? Naivatmano bhakta kritam tu bandham. The knot that Yashoda Maiya ties, oh, that Krishna cannot. जो अपने भक्त ने बांधा है, that he cannot cut. बाकी सब दुनिया के knots he can cut. But he cannot cut his own knot that his devotee has tied around his waist, Damodar. That is our Krishna. The most foolish part of our ignorance is our identifying this material body with the self. Everything in relation with the body is ignorantly accepted as our own. Doubts due to misconception of myself and mine, in other words, my body, my relatives, my property, my wife, my children, my wealth. Prabhupada is writing all this. My country, my community, and hundreds and thousands of similar illusory contemplations cause bewilderment for the conditioned soul. By assimilating the instructions of the Bhagavad Gita, one is sure to be released from such bewilderment, because real knowledge is knowledge that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudeva, Lord Krishna, is everything, including one's self. What verse is this? Raise your hand. Okay, Janani Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavam mam prapadyate Vasudeva sarvamiti samahatma sudurlabha.
Wow, very nice. Yes. Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan mam prapadyate. After many, many births, the jnani will surrender to Krishna. Understand that Vasudeva sarvamiti. Krishna is sab kuch hai. Krishna is everything. Vasudeva para Veda, Vasudeva para Gati, Vasudeva para Makha, Vasudeva para Yoga. Understand that Vasudeva is everything. Everything is a manifest. Now listen to this, please. Because see, look at the sentence. Prabhupada Ji Maharaj is saying, real knowledge means knowledge that Vasudeva is everything, including oneself. Sounds like Mayava? Prabhupada just written in the purport. Read carefully. Now see, Prabhupada is going to clarify. Everything is a manifestation of Krishna's potency as part and parcel. Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. Mata Parataram Nanyat. And then also, not Sarvasya Chamriti Sanvishto, but Aham Sarvasya Prabhava, Mata Sarvam Pravartat. Everything is coming from Krishna, material and spiritual. The potency, Shakti, and the potent, Shaktiman, are non-different. So the conception of duality is at once mitigated by attainment of perfect knowledge. Hari Bol. Who can explain this? Who can explain this? How I am Krishna? I am not Krishna, but how the Jiva is also non-different from Krishna. Now here Prabhupada is stressing Abhed. There is Achintya, Bhed, Abhed Tattva. Prabhupada is explaining the Abhed Tattva here. So don't get bewildered. Yes, Kirta Sundari Madhuri, please go ahead.
Prabhuji, like the Jiva is also in one sense Krishna only in the quality wise.
Ek minute, Madhuri, I'm going to read it, you listen, okay? Follow word by word and then explain, okay? The potency Shakti and the potent Shaktiman are non-different. So the conception of duality is gone. Ab batao.
So there is no difference between potency means Shakti and Shaktiman.
And who is Jiva?
Jiva is Shakti. Krishnera Jiva.
Tatastha Shakti.
Tatastha Shakti.
See? So, exactly. So, Shakti means ultimately all Shakti is Radharani. Radha Purna Shakti. Krishna Purna Shaktiman. Dui Vastu?
Bhed nahi Shastra.
See, that same Siddhanta yahan pe lagu hota hai. So, we are also Shakti of Krishna. Krishna is Purush, we are Prakriti, he is Shakti. What Shakti we are? We are Tatastha Shakti. What Shakti is Radharani and all the Lakshmi Murtis?
Antaranga.
Antaranga Shakti. And what Shakti is Durga Devi, this material world and everything?
Bahiranga Shakti.
Sab Shakti hai. Parasya Shaktir Vividhaiva.
Yeah.
So if there is no difference between potency and potent, Shakti, Shaktiman, Duyostu Bhed Nahi, Shastra Praman, then if from that standpoint, from that vision of angle, Prabhupada is saying. So he's stressing Achintya Bhedavet Tattva ka Abhed Tattva. So good, thank you. The potency and the potent are non-different, so the conception of duality is at once mitigated by the attainment of perfect knowledge. As soon as Arjuna took up the instructions of the Bhagavad Gita, expert as he was, he could at once eradicate the material conception of Lord Krishna, his eternal friend. That's why Krishna chalega nahi. That's what Srila Gaurav Maharaj, whenever I say purport and translation purport by Nitya Lila Pravishta Shri Srīmad Abhay Charan, I get scared. I feel that Srila Gaurav Maharaj is upset with me. Because Srila Gaurav Maharaj always used to say, don't say Nitya Lila Pravish for my Prabhupada Ji Maharaj. He is with me. He is not gone anywhere. That was his bhav. Always used to say, my Prabhupada, you may not be able to see him, Baba. I can see him. He's with me. Prabhupada is with me all the time. Don't say Nitya Lila Pravish. It pains my heart. Prabhupada has not left me like that. So, as soon as Arjuna took up the instructions of Bhagavad Gita, expert as he was, he could at once eradicate the material conception of Lord Krishna. What is the material conception of Lord Krishna? His eternal friend. What would be a material conception about Krishna? Raise your hand. You have to understand Prabhupada's purport, my dear friends. Prabhupada is saying, Mukta Sangha Prabhu, go ahead.
Manushim Tanumashritam.
Beautiful, brilliant. Yes, exactly. To consider Krishna to be an ordinary person. And that is actually coming in one purport also. So maybe we will not be able to reach, already 9:30. Yeah, we cannot reach that today, but it will come in the next class. So anybody knows what that verse is? Where it says that we should not consider the body of Krishna as bhautik, deha, as material body. Otherwise, we have no right to participate in any Shruti, Smriti, Vidhi. Any procedures of the Shruti. कीर्तिदा सुंदरी माता जी की जय हो. बोलिए माता जी.
प्रभु जी आज ही आपने पढ़ाया.
नहीं. प्रभुपाद जी ने लिखा है. बोलिए.
यो वैति भौतिकम देहम कृष्णस्य परमात्मना स सर्वस्मात् बहिष्कारा श्रौता स्मृता विधानना मुखम तस्यालोक्यापि न चेलं स्नानमचरेत्. आपने पढ़ाया प्रभु जी, आज सुबह ही पढ़ाया.
मैंने कुछ नहीं, प्रभुपाद जी ने पढ़ाया. So,
Yo Vaiti Bhaktikam Deham means those who understand Krishna's body as bhautik, as material, Krishna Paramatmana. Sa Sarvasmat Bahishkara, unka Bahishkar hota hai from Shauta Smarta Vidhanata, from all kind of Shruti and Smriti, all kind of ritual and activities. And not only that, Mukham Tasya Lokya Pi Sa Chelam Snanam Charet. Even if one sees the face of that person, who is against Krishna, one should immediately go and take bath in the river Ganges to rid oneself from all kind of sinful reactions.
Hare Krishna. Now we are walking on the street, we are looking at so many people's face.
Yeah, so no, what we should, like the example is being given that yes, because we meet so many atheists, especially in Sankirtan movement, especially in book distribution, the point is we are not going and running in the bank of Ganges, but rather we should make ourselves that we should not associate with those people.
Very nice, very nice. And another way is Sarvatma Snapanam.
Yeah.
You can also bathe in the Harinam. Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayate. Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. That is always there. Naam is always there with us. So we should always chant. Eka Krishna Naam Kare Sarva Papakshay. Cheto Darpanam Arjunam. So we should always bathe in the holy name. So yes, very nice. Thank you, Mataji. So where were we? So he did not have any material conception of Krishna. He could realize that Lord Krishna was still present before him. See? Srila Gaur Govind Maharaj. He could realize that Lord Krishna was still present before him. How? By his instructions. By his instructions. What did Srila Prabhupada say about Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, and what we say about Prabhupada? He lives forever in his instructions, and the disciple lives with him. What is that? Yo nityada jivati daivikishu shikshasu, something like that. Shiksha sahanugami. That one who remains in the instructions, lives the life under the instructions of the Guru, keeps close to the instructions of Shri Guru, then that person always lives with the master. Srila Prabhupada disciple Kushakrat Prabhu, His Grace Kushakrat Prabhu wrote this, Prabhupada Ashtakam. You know this? Prabhupada Ashtakam. Let me share very quickly with you. It's very nice. So, how do we go? Okay, very quickly I'll show. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Kushakrat Prabhu, Prabhupada disciple. This one. So in the last verse he says, Yo nityada jivati daivikishu nijasu shikshasu sahanugami kripambudhir nanda sutta shritatma namamitam Shri Prabhupada Devam. I offer my respectful obeisances unto His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada, who is like ocean of mercy. Kripambudhi, ocean of mercy. Srila Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj named his book Ocean of Mercy, dedicating it to Srila Prabhupada. Kripambudhir, see? Kripambudhir. And who is, kiska ashraya liya hai Prabhupada ji ne? Nanda Sutta Ashritatma. He has taken shelter of Nanda Sutta. Nanda Nandan Krishna. Bhajahure mana Shri Nanda Nandana. Nanda Sutta Ashritatma hai Prabhupada ji. He has taken shelter. Therefore, he is called Prabhupada. He is always at the feet of the Supreme Prabhu, Krishna. So, Ocean of Mercy, and who has completely taken shelter of Lord Krishna, the transcendental son of Nanda Maharaj, with his body, mind, and words and self. Srila Prabhupada lives forever by his divine instructions. Yo nityada jivati daivikishu. He always lives in his instructions, and his sincere followers live with him. Nijasu shikshasu saha anugami. We have to become sahanugami for Srila Prabhupada by always being in his instructions. Such a beautiful prayer, na? I like it very much. So like that. Prabhupada says that Arjuna could realize that Krishna was with him through his instructions, that is Bhagavad Gita, by his form, by his pastimes, his qualities, and everything else related to him. He could realize that Lord Krishna, his friend, was still present before him by his transcendental presence in different non-dual energies. Non-dual energy means Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. Everything is Krishna. One can be in association with the Lord, next page. One can be in association with Lord Krishna constantly, even in this present life, simply by hearing, chanting, thinking of, and worshipping Krishna. By thinking of Krishna, chanting about Krishna, hearing about Krishna, worshipping Krishna, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Sparanam, Archanam, we can be with Krishna. To become free from material conditions means to liberate the soul. What is the meaning of liberation? to become free from material conditionings. Last part of the purport, Arjuna had attained this stage long before on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And when he apparently felt the absence of Lord Krishna, he at once took shelter of the instructions of Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. And thus again, he was placed in his original position. This is the position of Vishok, or the stage of being freed from all grief and anxieties. Vishok means no grief and no anxieties. Does anybody know the verse Srila Prabhupada wrote on Jaladuta? Prabhupada prayed for this, to make others also Vishok. Anybody knows that verse? Vishok. Prabhupada prayed for all of us that we should be free from all our shok. Jaladuta diary, so many times we quote. Taba kripa haile mora katha shuddha habe shuniya sabara shoka dukkha je ghuchi be. Prabhupada prayed on Jaladuta. He's praying to Krishna that, hey Krishna, taba kripa haile mera katha shuddha habe. I have been brought here to the Paschatya Desh, Western world, Narkine. So please empower me. By your empowerment, make my Krishna Katha that I am going to speak here pure. Tava kripa hale mora katha shuddha habe. And what will happen when Shuddha Krishna Katha, Vishuddha Chaitanya Vani is spoken? What will happen? Gauravani Pracharine. Suniya sabara shoka dukkha je guchi. Guchi means it will be destroyed. All the shok and dukkha will be destroyed of all the people. Shunya. Anybody who hears Srila Prabhupada's Vani, they will be freed from all material contamination. This position is Vishok, or the stage of being freed from all grief and anxieties, Prabhupada says in the purport. So from text number 32, we will continue next time. So you want to do the Kahoot quiz very quickly. So just 1 second, keep chanting Hare Krishna. Very quickly we'll do it. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. So Prabhuji, can someone unmute and just give instructions? Last time some devotees were not able to understand how to join Kahoot quiz. So Ajay Govindra, you want to give some instruction on Mukta Sangha Prabhu? One of you, please. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Just verbally you can say. Hare Hare, Hare Rama.
So URL for that is kahoot.it. So once you go there, it will ask for the number. Let me go there.
Yeah.
So you need to have game pin, which Ādi Gadādhara Prabhu, you have to tell the game pin.
Yes.
And once we enter, we are into the Kahoot.
Okay.
But you need to have your setting, as mentioned yesterday, about the questions to be shown to others.
Yeah. So let me just log in. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Probably somehow it is not showing. I prepared one quiz. It is not showing only here. Okay, hold on. Let me just save it. Save. Okay. Now, how do I refresh? Refresh. Home. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, so now we are going to play start. So let me show my screen. You first tell me if you are able to see my screen. Can you see the screen?
Yes, Prabhuji, we are able to see the screen.
Okay. Classic mode. Loading pin. Okay, you can see now also. Ready to join?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, so go to www.kahoot.it. We'll play the Krishna quiz. 724-4903. 724-4903. It's a short quiz today, only 6 questions. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shamchandra Prabhu, you are able to see? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, we'll get started. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Very nice. Who is MSD? Okay, maybe they cannot unmute also now. Okay, Nandini Mishra.
I think it's Mukta Sangadas.
Oh, okay. Saroruham. Very nice. Aparna Mataji, Kirtan Riya, Krishna, Mishra. Mishra is what? Jagannath Mishra? Arjun fought Kurukshetra war because. Oh, good. 20 devotees got it right. Hare Krishna. Nice. Good. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Yudhishthira also became Vishok by remembering. This comes next class, sorry. I was planning to cover this verse. But you know. Also means Arjun became Vishok because of. Oh, 2 people said Ramayana. 8 devotees said Mahabharata. 9 devotees said Srīmad Bhāgavatam. And 9 devotees said, it is Bhagavad Gita, na? They remembered Bhagavad Gita instructions. Okay. Hare Krishna. Last question. This also will come next time. But you know this. Why did he leave this world? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Very nice. 32 of you got it right. So, Hare Krishna. Kirtana Sundari Mataji. Riya again. Aparna Mataji again. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you, dear devotees, for playing. Just some little Krishna conscious fun. So thank you. Are there any questions about the class today? Very quickly, we can take just one question. Yes, Ajay Govind Prabhu. Go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. My question is from the previous discussion, the last class you were talking about a verse where you said that, the devotees are by the internal potency of Krishna, they bewildered. So what was that verse? Actually, we talked about the Sanskrit things, but I could not follow the verse. It takes 17.
That the devotee is by the internal potency.
In the 17th purport, while playing in such a perfect transcendental relationship, the devotee forgets by the internal potency of the Lord that his friend or son is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, although sometimes the devotee is bewildered by the acts of Lord. So what was that verse which you were actually trying to bring us to our minds? You talked about.
Yeah, I actually shared it, but I'll share it again. 1 second.
Okay.
So we can go to Veda base. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Ādi Lila, 4th chapter. Ādi Lila, 4th chapter. The confidential reasons. So see, here Kaviraj Goswami says, the scriptures proclaim that Lord Krishna previously descended to remove the burden of the earth. Paritranaya sadhunam, vinashaya dushkritam. However, this is not the work of Krishna. The maintainer, Palankarta, Lord Vishnu, is the one who protects the universe. He can do that. Krishna doesn't have to come from Golok Vrindavan. So why Krishna comes? So it is said that this is very beautiful. Aishwarya jnanete saba jagat mishrita, Aishwarya shitila preme nahi mora prita. This is very important verse. This is the verse I was wanting to bring to your mind. That Aishwarya jnan means to know that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Correct?
Yeah.
Aishwarya jnanete saba jagata mishrita. The whole world is worshipping me with Aishwarya Mishrit Bhakti. Aishwarya Shitila means kamzor. Prem that has been made weak by Aishwarya Jnana. Nahi mora preet. Mujhe nahi bhata. When my devotees worship me, but worship me with too much Aishwarya, that I am Bhagwan, they worship me because I am Bhagwan, that doesn't capture me. आमारे ईश्वर माने आपना के हीन तारो प्रेमे वश आमी ना है अधीन. They consider themselves to be हीन, very small, insignificant, low. आमारे ईश्वर मा, हे प्रभु कृष्ण जय हो, नमस्कार नमस्कार कृष्ण. तारो प्रेमे वश आमी ना है अधीन. Such devotees who have Aishwarya Mishrit Bhakti, they cannot capture me. They cannot capture me. So what captures Krishna is saying this verse that I showed last time. Remember? Mora putra mora sakha mora pranapati, ei bhave jai more kare shuddha bhakti, apana ke bada mane amare samahin, sei bhave hai ami tahara adhin. If someone forgets that I am Supreme Lord, and in that bhav, that oh, he my putra, he is not Bhagwan nahi hai, this is my Kanha. Oh, this is not Bhagwan, this is my Krishna, he plays with me. Oh, this is not God, this is my most beloved, most perfect lover, Krishna. He is Gopi Jana Vallabh. Ei bhave jai more kare shuddha bhakti. So not Vaidhi Bhakti, not Aishwarya Mishrit Bhakti, but Shuddha Bhakti, Vraj Bhakti. In this bhav Anu does Vraj Bhakti, apana ke bada mane, not apana ke hina mane. See, previously it was apana ke hina mane. Consider oneself very slow. Now apana ke bada mane, amare samahin, and they consider them on the same level. Sei bhave hai ami tahara adhin. Such devotees can bring me under their control. They are my real devotees. So, to answer your question, those devotees who are very advanced in bhakti, they are able to practice Shuddha Bhakti. And by the influence of Krishna's Yogamaya Shakti, they forget that Krishna is Bhagwan. And they consider him Mora Putra, Mora Sakha, Mora Pranapati. So in the initial stages of bhakti, it is Krishna, I am yours. Krishna, I am yours. Sakrideva praparnoyam tavasmi iti ashate. Tavasmi, I am yours, I am yours. That is the initial stage. But the more advanced stage is, you are mine, Krishna. Krishna, I am yours is the beginning. But the culmination is Krishna, you are mine. Mora Putra, Mora Sakha, Mora Pranapati. That is even higher than Sakrideva Prapanam, Tava Asmi iti ashate. So Krishna, you are mine, and higher is Krishna. Krishna, I am yours. Higher than that is Krishna, you are mine. And that can be said by someone who forgets that Krishna is God. He's my prem ka sambandh hota hai. Prem mera sambandh hai, prem mera swabhav. That verse is there. So like that. And that happens only to very advanced devotees under the influence of Yogamaya Shakti. By Yogamaya Shakti, they forget. Like Yashodama forgets that Krishna is God. If he eats mud, he's going to fall sick. She doesn't realize that as his expansion is Mahavishnu, जिनके रोम से ऐसे ब्रह्मांड निकलते हैं. थोड़ा सा रजरश कुछ नहीं होगा, लेकिन हाँ, like that. That is premara sambandh. Is that helpful, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhuji. Now I recall when I saw the verse. So I recall. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Amarinda Prabhu told me that I have to be very careful when I answer questions. He said many times the question is something else and you speak for 15-20 minutes something else only, and the question is not addressed. So please tell me if I talk tangentially. Thank you. Hare Krishna. So we'll stop here. Sharanagati Mataji, yes, please go ahead. Last question.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Jai Shri.
Prabhuji, I like in the last purport that 31 we were saying that so many times that like about the non-duality, how everywhere is Krishna, everyone is Krishna. And Kirtida Sundari Mataji mentioned that Yoveti, that verse, we were saying that still when we see that Nastik or anyone who doesn't believe, then we have to go take a bath. So how can, I mean, I know that we have to differentiate that, but how can we justify that? Like, you know, if everything is Krishna, then still we are differentiating between devotees, non-devotee, treating everyone differently.
Correct. So see, this is the Siddhanta, na, that Achintya Bheda Bhed. That there is a Bhed, there is a unity in everyone. Because everyone is part of Krishna. Jivara Swarupa hai Krishna. Everything is coming from Krishna. Aham sarvasya prabhavaha. Prabhava means to take birth, to appear. Everything is coming from Krishna. So Krishna is source of everything. And Yomam pashyati sarvatra. Sarvam cha mai pashyati. Tasyaham na pranashyami sacha me na pranashyati. So everything is in Krishna and Krishna is in everything. So this is the vision of a pure devotee, Uttamadhikari. So that, and this is from Tattva, this is true, that everything is Krishna or Krishna's energy. Parasya Shaktir Vividhaiva Shuyate. So everything is Krishna, Shaktiman or Shakti. And Dui Vastu Bheda Nahi, Shastra Praman. Radha Purna Krishna Purna Shaktiman. So this is the Abhed Tattva. But what is the Bhed Tattva? Ekela Ishwara Krishna Arasara Bhritya Jai Jai Sena Chai Taise Kare Nritya. This is also Chaitanya Charitamrita. Mahaprabhu only saying Ekela Ishwara Krishna. Ishwara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha. So therefore Krishna is Purna Bhagwan and we are his Vibhinna Amsha. Bhagwan ke amsha hai. Mama amsha jiva loka jivata sanatana. But we are not Krishna. We can attain Krishna's nature.
Yes, Prabhuji, that part I understand. But we are differentiating between the jivas only, like, you know, that we will associate with this
So that our Rupa Goswami has taught us to do that. And that is required. See, I'll show you. That is required for our proper interactions in this world. See, Rupa Goswami says in text number 5, this verse is very important to remember. Krishneti yasya giritam manasadriyeta dikshasti chet pranatibhischa bhajanantamisham shushrushaya bhajana vidnyamananyaminya nindadi shunyam ridam ipsita sangalabdhya. One should mentally honor the devotee who chants Hare Krishna, the Kanishta Adhikari. Anybody who chants Hare Krishna is a devotee, Vaishnava, so neophyte. We should mentally offer. One should offer humble obeisance to a devotee who is initiated, undergone Diksha, and is engaged in worshipping the deity, the more advanced devotee, Madhyam Adhikari. We offer obeisances physically, Dandavat Pranam. And one should associate with who? Who is Bhajana Vidnyam, who is very advanced. And Ananyam, he is one point, Ananyas Chintayantomam. He is Ananya Bhakta of Krishna, one pointed pure devotee. Undivided devotional service is engaged and whose heart is completely devoid of ninda, propensity to criticize others. See, anya ninda adi, to criticize others, to find fault with others, etc. Shunya, rhythm, completely is not there. Such a person, what we should do? Ipsita sanga labdhya. We should associate. ऐसे लोगों का संग करना है उत्तम अधिकारी का. So, can we treat everybody as उत्तम अधिकारी? No. Can we treat everybody as Madhyam? No. Can we treat everybody as Kanishta? No. So we have to understand who is Kanishta, who is Madhyam, who is Uttam in our heart. Andar ki baat hai. For our understanding, so we can deal properly with them and we don't commit Vaishnava Aparadha and we don't break Vaishnava etiquette. There's a certain etiquette to behave with Uttam Adhikari, certain etiquette to behave with our equals, certain etiquette to behave with those who have come new. So that has to be followed. So we are differentiating because Shastra tells us to differentiate. And Shastra tells us to differentiate so that there is smooth interactions, meaningful interactions with everyone. We should associate with juniors in a way to uplift them. We should associate with equals in a non-envious way and to encourage each other. and to make thick friendships with each other. And we associate with superiors to serve them. These are 3 types of exchanges. So for this to happen, we should identify.
Right.
And now everybody doesn't know कौन से स्तर पर है. जैसे रघुनाथ भट्ट गोस्वामी जब जा रहे थे जगन्नाथपुरी, तो from Varanasi, so one Ramdas fellow was there. This story is there in the Ante Leela of Chaitanya Charitamrita. He was constantly chanting Ram, 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 and constantly trying to do Vaishnava Seva. He wanted to carry Raghunath Bhatta Goswami's bag. Raghunath Bhatta said, no, you just happily come with me. You are also going to meet Mahaprabhu. I am also going to meet Mahaprabhu. You are also going to Jagannath Puri.
Hari Bol.
I think Mataji, it appears like there's some issue or network issue or something from Prabhuji's side.
Hare Krishna. Sorry, something happened to the computer. So very quickly, so we cannot understand. Raghunath Bhatta Goswami could not understand that that Ramdas was like that. He was a Mayavadi. He wanted to become Ram. That's why he was worshipping Ram. But who could see it? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu could see it immediately. And he did not give any special attention to Ramdas. So we may not always be able to identify properly who is Uttam, who is Madhyam, who is Kanishta. Therefore, Amanina Manadena. We respect everyone. But somewhere where we see a good example, somewhere where we see genuine spiritual advancement, we offer that extra respect. And we associate with superiors. So that and serve the superiors, make friendship with the equals, and help the juniors. There are 3 types of loving exchanges. This also is given in the 4th canto of Srīmad Bhāgavatam. Shripad Narad Muni instructs who? Dhruv Maharaj. Muni instructs Dhruv Maharaj. We can read that. These 3 types of exchanges are there. So this is important so that we can have smooth loving exchanges with different levels of devotees. It is important to identify them. But what would be Vaishnava Aparadha? That we start telling publicly, oh, he's a Kanishta Adhikari. No. This is internal, andar ki baat hai, for our understanding, so we can deal properly with them. We respect everyone, but some devotees deserve very special respect, admiration. Associate with them. We should learn from them. So for that, we have to identify the superior Vaishnavas, where we see the good example, those who are following what Prabhupada told us to follow. Like, that's the criteria. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.